Hello, everyone. Chaz and Portia here.
Hi, guys.
We wanted to just come on and just invite you guys into this conversation that we are having regarding his 41st birthday.
Time flies.
Yes. So he's actually getting ready to turn 41 tomorrow. Here we are in our hotel room, and we flew up to the state of Pennsylvania, and we're actually gonna be celebrating here. So we decided to invite y'all in on this conversation that we're getting ready to have about all the things that he have learned in his first 41 years of life regarding many topics or areas such as, let's start with
Oh, God.
well, first, how do you feel? 41.
I feel like I'm 25. I think I look like I'm 30. That's just what I see in the mirror. And that's how I feel in my body.
That's good, because it's all about how you feel.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so where do you want to start? You've been on this earth 41 whole years. You learned a lot.
I have.
You've been through a lot.
I have.
You've experienced a lot, right? You saw a lot.
Yes.
And although that may seem like a large period of time, but it's still young. So you still have a lot more to experience and a lot more to witness and see, right? So far, like, what do you think? What do you think about the different areas that was a part of your life, as far as relationships, as far as like what else? Relationships, friendships, marriage, spirituality.
You got to give me one at a time because.
Okay, let's.
And it's going to be very short because
short.
I'm a preacher.
Well, that's all right.
Which one you want to start with?
Friendship.
Friendship. What did I learn about friendship? Well, I think the definition of friendship, when we use that term, I think it's the first thing come to mind, loyalty. In order to have that word used, friendship, first thing come to my mind is loyalty. In order for us to say it's a friend, call it friendship, to me, loyalty is it. Next one.
What about family and being a father? Because y'all know we have a total of 9 children. Mm-hmm. We have a total of 9 kids. So I know it's a lot you can say about fatherhood and being a father.
Well, I would say family. I think that we can take the example of biblical terminology.
What would that be?
Biblical terminology, husband of one wife.
For fatherhood?
Fatherhood.
Well, I guess that would play a role because a lot of men, they more than one woman, which will in turn leave them with multiple children by more than one woman. And so I believe that play a huge role in it.
Right. Family, God's way. Biblical principles, train up a child in the way he should go. A husband, love your wives. Wives, support and build your husband. God is a big thing on family. It started with family. And I think we just follow that trend. It will all work together. And so that's where I'm at with family. If I keep going, I'm going to go deeper. So I'll stop there.
All right. Let's talk about fatherhood. You being a father of 9 children. So what about fatherhood?
Fatherhood, from a father's perspective, I think that understanding a father's role, protection / security. I think fatherhood is being able to be a good steward over the house. We're the first ones at the door. Anything that comes in, the man checks it at the door. Whether it's natural or whether it's spiritual, we're supposed to check, be the officers at the door when it comes down to family and when it comes down to fatherhood. Also, I learned during these 41 years, I also learned that children are different personalities, knowing how to adapt, adjust, be transparent, No child is alike.
That's right. Because all of our kids, every one of them have different personalities. Every
Yes.
one of them. You can't discipline one the same as the other. You can't talk to one. You have to engage with each one different because all of them have a different way of receiving and perceiving things. So everyone is different. All of them is different, and that really what makes the family so unique. Understanding that, knowing that, and everybody having their different insights and their different ways that they understand and perceive things.
I think another thing too is understanding that we don't always have to be the roaring lion. Men should know how to communicate, especially with their sons, not out of fear, but out of love and respect. And I think that we should do more talking and communication, especially in our Black culture, than the violent approach and discipline in such a violent and strong manner, whether it's verbally or physically. I think communication is everything. And that's something I always did with my sons is talk to them first, then they get disciplined, and then even after the discipline, love on them. I think that has been my response and what I have been doing to the best of my ability. And also not out of anger, not hitting out of anger, making sure that, that when we're disciplined, it hurts us too. And I think that's what I can say about fatherhood in a nutshell.
What about business?
Well,
we are in the marketplace. Let's touch on business.
Business. I've learned a lot in business. I would say that sometimes you got to what we refer to as be in it for the long haul. You got to have definitely tough skin, thick skin. Sometimes when you are just starting out in business, sometimes you got to work. You have to network. You have to be in business with some that you may not even want to be in business with. But you're there to get the lessons, the tools, the strategies. You're there to learn. For example, when I first started out in business, I had a guy that took advantage of my finances starting a business, did not live up to the promises that I invested in. But by being led, I believe, by God, of course, told me to stick it out, stay right there. And it opened up so many doors for me in networking. I stayed in bed with different ones that had other motives, but I stayed there because I needed the keys and the tools to help catapult me to the next level. And so I appreciate the different transitions I made. So sometimes we have to remain in something that we don't want to remain in until you get the lesson. And so that's pretty much my intake on business, is that you have to continue to change. And the next thing I want to say when it comes down to business is really understand the biblical principle. And that is seed, time, and harvest. When you understand seed, time, and harvest, you'll change with the seasons. You got to know when to let go. You have to know when to invest. You have to know when to hold. And so when you have those type of insight and understand how everything has its seasoning, and you understand the season that you're in your business, you'll be able to pivot at the right time. And so that's been my motto: knowing how to pivot, work with others, not to just say get where I'm going, but it's to get the lesson. Not that you're an opportunist, but you're getting the lesson. Sometimes you have to, because people look at, oh, look where they're at now, but don't understand the 12 hours that you put in a day, 7 days a week, the sacrifices you made, right?
Investment, right?
The investment you made in yourself, the education, the time, the sleepless nights, all of that, the money management. You got to be able to, you got to understand how money works, right? And understanding these tools will make you successful, and that has worked for us, honey. That has worked for us.
And there's so much more to learn. I don't think this entrepreneur journey is something that you just become this, I want to say, master, so to speak, because I believe that our business, our entrepreneurship journey, our everything that we're doing, whether it is a career, whether it is however we are meeting the need of our bills, our children, our family, and surviving, and not really just surviving, but living. But I just believe that this is something that will be ongoing, and being that until the day we leave this earth, until the breath is out of our body, we will be able to continue to learn new things. I believe that it's nothing that can really be mastered to a certain degree. We can develop skill sets in certain things, and sharpen our skills in certain areas, and grow wiser, and grow more in understanding certain things, and make more wiser choices. But I believe that as we go through life, when it comes down to business and entrepreneurship, and being successful in your career, we will continue to learn. You got to continue to learn. You got to continue to experience things, and grow. It's a lot that can be said on that topic. What else we talked about? Oh, spirituality. What about spirituality? What have you learned when it comes down to spirituality? Or, I don't even want to say religion, because we ain't religious. But spirituality. We are born again believers. We are Christians. What is your intake on spirituality? What have you learned all these 40 plus years of life?
Well, some would say that I've been in church my whole life. I will be able to contest to that. What I've learned about my walk with God, my spiritual journey, is really understanding your creator, knowing your purpose. Why are you put here?
Yes.
That to me, once you know your purpose, at that point is just being obedient, walking in it, and being a good steward of what God has called you to do on earth. My spiritual journey, it is a continual growing in God, the creator, growing in the characteristics of God, his character, his ways. Understand my kingdom purpose. I believe that I am called for such a time as this to do a great work on the earth. And that is what wakes me up, is my purpose to invest in God's people, getting people to recognize their purpose, getting them closer to their creator. And I think that my really pursuit, I would say, or heart's desire for people is that when they find out their purpose, everything is wrapped in that. Their happiness is wrapped in their purpose. When they accept their purpose, they grow in their purpose, they expand.
And identity.
And their identity.
Purpose and identity.
Purpose and identity.
They got to know who they are.
They got to know who they are.
You got to know who you are. Especially the older you get, the more you go through life, the more you experience things. You got to know who you are. Because your purpose and your identity, it goes hand in hand. Yeah. You know, I don't know if I would have been where I am this far in my life had I not known who I am. And not just who I am, but who I am in God, you know, who he called me to be as far as my makeup, my spiritual DNA, you know. Yeah. And so, got to know that identity. Yeah. Especially men, right?
Yes.
Especially men.
When men get back in their purpose, why they're created, what are they here for? And we see that clearly in Genesis. Men are made to cultivate the land, build. Men are natural creators and builders. Once they understand that, nothing can stop them. Nothing can stop them. It's the worst thing that a man can experience is lost identity. Once he find out who he is, the sky's the limit. Yeah. When he really understands what he's put here on earth for, the sky is the limit. Because once a man is focused, there's no distractions. He just builds and he moves heaven and earth to get where he's going. He's tunnel vision. Yeah. Right? Once he finds his purpose, he's tunnel vision. When you can get a man into his proper position, protector of the home and a builder with his hands and with his brain, he can accomplish anything.
I also think that's important too, because even as a woman will come alongside of him like a wife, it makes our job so much easier. When your husband know who he is, right? His identity, it just makes your job easier to help to cultivate and to help him to build. It makes a woman's job easier as that rib, because we are a helpmeet, and so we need to know what we're helping. We need to
Yeah.
know what we doing. You know,
Yeah.
what's the game plan?
Yes.
You know, where we
Yes.
going? What we doing? We
Yeah.
got to know these things. And but if the man don't know, then it makes the woman's job harder, because a woman builds too.
Right.
A wise woman, not any woman. Proverbs says a wise woman builds. So a woman build, but we
Right.
got to know what we building. We got to know the game plan. We got to be able to see the blueprint of this thing from the visionary, or the head, I would say, which is the man.
And not limiting you
Right.
as the woman, not limiting you, because yes, I have the vision, right? But understanding that you have a vision also. And when we are one, we're co-laboring together. So I shouldn't have no insecurities on you pursuing everything that God has, because you have purpose too.
Right.
And so understanding that, yes, I have purpose. Yes, I have vision, but also you too. And I can't hold you back because of my insecurities, right? I can't hold you back because you have dreams and things that you have in your heart, your desires. God said, I will give desires of your heart, not just a man. He's just describing a woman too.
Yeah.
You're not just there to help me, but I'm also there to help you. That's what one is all about, right? We're one, one unit. And what we are building is not just for our happiness, but also for generations to come. Not even just for our immediate family, but making a print here on earth, right? A print that all write the vision, so they that read it may run well with it. It's not just about us being selfish and saying it's just our family that we're so focused on. No, we're focused on changing the world that we have been steward over, and who's able to listen and follow what God has given us.
I think that it's also, when I view it, I see it as being a help me, helping you to help us. I'm helping you help us. And with that, it only makes me more confident. It only makes me more stronger in who I am, because it gives me that security to know that we are going somewhere. It is a game plan, and there is a vision that must be fulfilled, and that we're not just out here just doing anything. And
it's purposeful.
The head, right, it's purposeful. Yes, absolutely. When a man knows his identity and his purpose and knows where he's going, know who he is and whose he is, then it makes us women's job as a wife or a woman, a mother, it make our job so much easier and make us feel so much more confident and secure. Not just for our future, because you remember we moms. So we are considering the future of our children. All of that.
And fathers leave an inheritance to his children. So I wanted to add that.
Right. The steps of a not the steps of a good man. Not that scripture.
Oh.
A wise man.
Yes.
Leave an inheritance for his children's children. That's it. That's all that's important. We touched on marriage a little bit. Just a little bit when he was talking about building. But so what about relationships? What in all of these 41 years of life you have learned, and the phone's shaking, y'all. The 41 years of life you have learned about relationships.
Relationships are so important. Somehow we got this notion that we need to cut people off and have this select few people that we deal with on earth. To me, that's very unwise. I look at every human being, and I think this is just wise. I look at every human being as an answer, or they have something that I can learn, glean from. From a child all the way up to adult. When you understand relationship, you will cherish it and cultivate it. Of course, I'm not talking about someone's enemy. I'm not talking about someone's hater. I'm saying in general, when you understand relationships, you would treat people differently when you come in contact with them because you don't know who has your answer, who has the blessing in their hand or in their mouth. I believe relationships are so vital to our existence. I don't care how many robots we make, people, you cannot get over relationships. We have
human
to touch. We have to touch each other.
Yes.
We have to touch each other. We have to talk to each other, not by phone. There's so much spiritual components to this that, of course, we're not going to get into that. We're just randomly talking right now. But relationships is everything. And when you understand that people are keys and doors and you look at them as windows of opportunity, you will treat every person you talk to like they matter because they do.
Mm-hmm. Because they do.
God designed it that way. God designed it that way. Now, yes, there are people that you just cannot deal with. We're not talking about that. But as relationships as a whole, until that trust is broken and cannot be restored, then let's try to mend these relationships. There's people that unfortunately, especially because of internet, people can really lie on you. And it seems very accurate until you have evidence, right? I just think relationships is very, very important, and to cultivate it, and because people, when you understand that people are access, they are access to something. They are assets and they have access. When you understand those two A's, you will really cultivate relationships. It's so important, especially in our day and time, people. It is so important to cherish relationships. Even if there's a misunderstanding, even if we don't agree, we can agree to disagree. But why we got to cut each other off? We don't know each other. It's bad in family. It's bad in people that you generally deal with. It's bad for business. It's bad, and you know what make bad business partners? It's bad character. When you don't care about the next person, just a general caring. Do unto others literally as you would have them do unto you.
That's actually like what happened today. We went to a restaurant and the server that served us, she was very nonchalant. She was very, and she could have been having a bad day. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. But when you come in contact with people and when you are serving, when you are having a position like that as a server in a restaurant, the expectation is different. So the customer expectation is to be served well and to not be served with the attitude of you don't want to be bothered, or you don't want to engage, or you just there just to serve, give the food, take the order, and that's it. Like it was very cold, very cold, and it just really made me feel uncomfortable because if you my server, then we're the customer and we paying our money, our good hard-earned money, at this very nice restaurant. We should be able to be served well by someone that actually acts like they want to be at work.
Her attitude and very nonchalant. And relationships is everything, man. The Bible says it like this: you entertain angels unaware. You never know who is there,
Yeah.
who wants to put something in your hand,
Yeah.
who wants to bless you. And people, and another thing too, people that you just met, they'll have this certain perception of you by the way you look or dress, and they would immediately just treat you terrible, and you just met them, right? And here go you, spirit filled and happy, and you're ready to bless them some kind of way, right? And they miss it, man. There's so many people miss their blessings because we can blame it on, oh, well, look what's going on in the world. And everybody is not on this spooky type living. That's not living. It's not living. Yeah. It's not living. You have to be able to still do your purpose, regardless of what's going on around you. Your life is what you make it. And your perception of life is everything. And people live in so many different perceptions because of their geographic location, because of their environment. And I get all that. There's so many different minds, but we're really just turning us. It's like even society is turning us into these animal type vultures in life, and a machine is telling us how to think and live. And the enemy is just really twisting us up, man, twisting up people's mind. But I'm telling you, we got to get back to communication, turn these cell phones off, right, and really getting to know human beings again.
And I say all the time that it seems like people are living on, and I'm not bashing social media. I thank God for it because of the things that
we're on it.
Right, we're on it right now. Right. But I just think that balance is so important. And some people just need to go home because they are living on this thing.
Right.
You don't live there. We're not supposed to be living on this thing. Right? We actually have a life.
That part.
We have family, children, business, ministry, careers, and real relationships we are cultivating. You can't really cultivate a relationship as it will be, as we would, back before all of this, Right. But one thing you said about deception, you was talking about lies. You was talking about lies, and you were saying how the picture can be painted via social media or the internet about other people, and it be lies, right? And so you was pretty much saying that social media or a lot of things that's being done, it has caused a lot of deception in the minds of people.
Yes.
Which has in turn closed a lot of doors and stopped a lot of things from taking place, stopped a lot of divine connections because of this deception that have crept in the minds of people.
My 41 years is so much to this, guys. It's so much. Our whole life, ministry, business, everything is based on or based around family. We believe that we are a prime example of a spirit-filled, God-fearing family that has been through a lot, but by the grace of God and His mercy is why we continue to thrive and make the best out of life and teach others that no matter what is thrown at you, learn how to grab it and build on it. No matter what stone is thrown, build on it, cultivate, learn. And the last thing I want to say is this, when it comes down to what I do understand about life. The moment you stop trying to become a better version of you, the moment you stop trying to grow in character, in God's character, to me, you become a liability. You become part of the problem. We got to do what Michael Jackson said, right? Look in the mirror. You got to out the Bible.
So you're saying that, because first, people are access and assets.
Yes.
The moment you stop growing in life,
yes,
you're no longer an asset, but you are a liability.
You are a liability. You are definitely a liability. The moment you stop growing, this is how let me tell you the first sign when you know somebody has stopped growing. Here's the first sign. Is that when you talk to them again, they repeat the same thing they said to you. That's the first sign.
So talking about like stuff
When
that
you-
happened back in the day.
When they done forgot they told you that 3 times, they have stopped growing. The moment you heard that before, they done stopped growing.
So it's not a clinical issue.
It's not a clinical issue. The moment you stop being a better you, reading, studying, advancing your own self.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible puts it like this: I wish above all that thou mayest prosper, be in health, even as your soul prosper.
Mm-hmm.
That soul is 3 makeup: mind, body, and will, right? And you have to grow in those areas. You have
That's
to
true.
grow in all of those areas. Your emotions you got to grow in your emotions. Some people are just, they live out of their emotions. To me, the moment you stop growing, you become a liability to everybody around you. You must continually to pursue not necessarily your happiness, because your happiness can be dysfunction. It can be dysfunctional. But pursuing your purpose, and making sure that you always doing character checks every day. And I think when people really focus on themselves, they really don't have time to be in other people's business. People that's really shifting and changing this world, they are not drama queens or drama men.
That's true.
They're not. They're not. There's just no way I even have time to even think about if I have haters. I don't even have time to think about it.
All right, so that was really good. That was you hit on a lot of key points of all the things that not all of them, but at least some of them. Some of the things he shared. His first 41 years of life. And so we're going to be celebrating tomorrow, October 10th. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
We'll be celebrating.
Yes.
And I can't wait. We appreciate you guys for watching. And hopefully you got some out of that.
Yes.
Even if it was just a good laugh. But thank y'all for watching.
Thank you. Bye.